Now, that's what I call a pay-per-view. Welcome, everybody, to my review of SummerSlam 2022. And man, this was good, great pay-per-view. Now, we all know that Smackdown was the first Smackdown in the new era of Triple H as creative. And now, it shows here at SummerSlam in a big way, in an immediate way. How immediate? The very first match has showed you what could possibly be the change when it comes to creative. And if you have not seen SummerSlam, because I don't know if I'm going to put spoilers in the title, because usually it's a spoilers anyway, so I'm reviewing the show, so usually it's going to be spoilers, but if you don't want to be spoiled, I will say this. Turn away right now. Go watch SummerSlam and come back and watch this video, but I'm about to get into the review right now, so you have been warned. They start off with Bianca Belair. That's the first match of the night. Bianca Belair versus Becky Lynch for the Raw Women's Championship. And it was spectacular. It was the best way to kick off this show. I mean, the match was good. The spots were good. The work, Becky picked up like an arm injury somewhere in that match. And Becky worked it over. There were manhandle slams, KODs, kickouts after kickouts. But in the end, Bianca got the victory with a KOD. Now, I say this because the best thing about this match happened after the match. So, other than the match being good itself, the best thing happened after the match, which was, first, I guess, I don't know for sure, it's been reported as I'm making this video that it's official face turn, but it looked like Becky has turned face, because by the fact that after the match she got in the ring and basically shook Bianca's hand and pulled her in for a hug and basically whispered something to her, and they said that was basically her turning face. But why would she need to turn face? Well, here's the answer to your question. Now, there's been rumors that a certain person was going to come back during SummerSlam, and that person did right here during this match. But it was a brand shift, and that person is Bayley. Bayley made her triumphant return to WWE after Bianca Belair's match, right? And it looks like she's basically there to confront Bianca, which means that's a brand shift for her. Because last time we saw Bayley, she was officially on the Smackdown brand. So now she's back on the Raw brand. But she didn't come along. So the next person to come out to stand with Bayley, Dakota Kai, of all people, Dakota Kai. So this is what I meant by Triple H's, era. She brought back Dakota Kai. He brought back Dakota Kai. Well, remember, Dakota Kai was released on April 29th of this year. So 3 months ago. 3 months ago. And she is now back. And as I did my research, it says she's officially re-signed with the WWE. 3 months after being released, she re-signed with the WWE. And it's even some places even made it a point to say that it's following Vince McMahon's retirement, she re-signed with WWE. That has something to do with it. We don't know for sure. We don't know, but outlets and everything speculate it was basically Triple H bringing her back because Vince McMahon, they had tryouts with her, on the main roster in dark matches, but never brought her up because they didn't see nothing in there. And eventually she asked for her release. Because, Dakota Kai was released because she asked for it. And they, what? So we are seeing now that with Triple H and Creator, some people who've been released could possibly be making their way back to WWE. But that's not all. There's one more person. Another person who was who was rumored to be done because they were saying, coming from her camp, they were saying she was done. Io Shirai has arrived with her, and now it looks like there's a faction with a new faction with Bayley as the leader and Dakota Kai and Io Shirai at her side. The other thing here too is that Io Shirai got a name change, so apparently that's not, apparently, hey, we can't blame Vince McMahon's no longer in charge, so apparently that just WWE, But Io Shirai is no longer Io Shirai. She is Io Sky. But they, how Io was Io, now is, I think it's IYO, but it's still pronounced Io Shirai or Io Sky. They confronted Bianca Belair. This was the other part that they're saying confirmed that Becky was faced, was that she basically it looked like they was about to jump her, but Becky came back into the ring to stand with Bianca Belair against them three, and actually was all for her and Bianca to fight them three, and they just backed off. So already, that was just, and this is just the first thing. So already this show started off just smacking you in the face with goodness. Now, in my opinion, the next match, which is The Miz versus Logan Paul, was actually a decent match. It was good. Logan Paul held his own. He showed that he dedicated himself, and he actually learned some things. It wasn't pretty good. Like you could tell he still got ways to go, but he held his own against this match, and they gave him the victory here. He won against The Miz. But yeah, this was a good showing from both men. It was a very good match. It was a very good follow-up. Not the least, it wasn't a bad follow-up to what happened. Nothing's going to happen because we just got two major call-ups / returns. But yeah, it was a good match. Moving on to the next match, which was Austin Theory versus Bobby Lashley for the United States Championship. This was also a good match. It wasn't one of the best matches. This was one of the low matches. So I won't say good. This was an okay match, but it was still good. It was good enough to be okay. Basically saying that though it wasn't good or great, it was okay enough for you to watch it. Austin Theory did try to leave, but Bobby Lashley would basically block him and tell him to get back in the ring, which he would beat him up and throw him back in the ring. And he'll eventually tap him out with the Hurt Lock. So yeah, Bobby Lashley is your winner and still United States Champion. Then we got Judgment Day, the next match, which was the Judgment Day versus Rey and Dominic Mysterio. I do like the fact that they came out with the Judgment Day music, and it was all three members. It was a no DQ, which I did not know. I didn't know it was going to be a no DQ, but it was a no DQ, and pretty much it was a battle. It was very much a battle. It was they started off like there was a tornado tag, but then they did do traditional tag, and it went back and forth. Just when the Judgment Day looked like they had the upper hand, was about to win the match, another return came. But this was not so surprising as like Io Shirai, Dakota Kai, and Bayley, because it was always, because you read up on the backstage rumor mill, you knew this was going to happen. It was supposed to happen Monday, but it happened instead. They moved it to today, and it was none other than Edge. Edge came back in full remix Brood theme, like he used the Brood theme, but it was like remix, and he had this whole Brood, but it was still like the Brood like red glow and fire and stuff like that. So he was completely Brood Edge again. which, you know, before he became the Judgment Day Edge, there was tweening between. He was tweening between Rated R Superstar and Brew Edge. Then he went to Judgment Day Edge. Now he's Brew Edge. But yeah, he came out and helped the Mysterios pick up the victory here. The next match was Baron Corbin versus Pat McAfee. No, not the prettiest of matches. This match wasn't pretty at all. You know, it was a wrestler versus, you know, Pat McAfee, who was basically like a celebrity / wrestler. He's more of the Logan Paul side, but more light. But Logan, I will say that for Logan Paul, he did look like he got the crowd on his side finally. But yeah, it was an okay match. Again, like the Miz match, not too bad, but not too good either. But it was still good enough for me to say it was okay. I found myself still watching and not being bored by it, so it gets an okay for me. Pat McAfee did his thing though. He was athletic. They had their spots. I think that was the sunset flip he did to pin Baron Corbin, or a version of it. But yeah, Pat McAfee came out as your winner. Baron Corbin was good here too, getting the heat on him, messing with Michael Cole. So I give Baron Corbin his props here. We got a mini Drew McIntyre. We got a Drew McIntyre promo where he came, hyped the crowd up for the next pay-per-view, which is Clash of Champions, and hyped the crowd up saying that whoever it may be, Brock or Roman, he's going to beat. And basically, at Clash of Champions, you know, he even got the crowd to chant for Cole, a little boy in the crowd. So that was a good thing. We got the sixth match, which was the Street Profits versus the Usos. This was the one match I could say I'm slightly disappointed in, because it wasn't as good as that Money in the Bank match. The Money in the Bank match, between the two, Money in the Bank was the better outing for them two than this match. But this match wasn't bad either. Just like with the Miz and the Mysterio, well, not the Mysterios, I would say the Miz, the Bobby Lashley match, and Baron Corbin's. This match was not bad, but it was not great either. It was because their match at Money in the Bank was great. This was more. This one I would say it was. I say it was good. I won't say it's okay. This was actually good, but it still wasn't great. And it fell flat at a couple of times, where after a while I was like, okay, where in Money in the Bank you made me believe that he could have actually won. Here I was there for a minute, but then it's like, yeah, the Usos are winning, and thus they do. But the match was still good. Still had this near falls and bells and whistles. It's just, I wish it was just as good as their Money in the Bank, if not better. But the Usos got the victory here, and now with the Street Profits losing to them twice, it was like they already are heading towards Montez Ford and them breaking up. The next match we would get, which is you could call it the co-main event, which was Ronda Rousey versus Liv Morgan for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Now, the one thing I'll say straight out the bat, I'm disappointed that this match was only like 4 minutes. It was a very short match, but in hindsight, because of what we had to get to next, the craziness that happens next, I see why they kind of like didn't give them time, but for the 4 minutes, it was basically Ronda. The majority of the offense was Ronda, like Dakota. I was about to say Dakota Kai. Liv did get some offense in. She did get some offense in, but not a lot. It was just majority of Ronda beating her ass. And then the end was a controversial end. I'd rather not they have done that, because, in my opinion, it felt like Liv got the short end of the stick on that. But anyway, what I mean is that being kept repeatedly getting put in the armbar, but Liv Morgan, using her gut and grit to keep getting out of it. This last time that Ronda put her in the armbar, Liv was able to get up and stack Ronda's shoulders on the mat To which when the referee realized it, he had to count the 1, 2, 3 because around the shoulders was on the mat. So as he's counting the 1, 2, 3, the referee missed that. The referee missed that that Liv Morgan had tapped out. Cause right after the referee had counted 2, Liv Morgan started tapping, but he didn't see it, and he counted the 3, awarding the match to Liv Morgan. Now that's why I say kind of do a disservice to Liv, because obviously you can't. Obviously you paying in the corner with like, would it be really believable is Liv beat Ronda, or would you think we just wanted Liv to go over? Like, so they just like we went with the lesser evil because we don't want the fans being mad that we taking the title off of Liv, but we don't want to make Ronda look bad either by losing to Liv. So we just had it where she does lose, but she loses in controversial fashion to save both women. But in my opinion, it kind of hurt Liv because now we know that she legit, because she tapped out, she lost. Just the referee didn't see it. So technically, Ronda should have walked out as champion, but Liv only walked out because the referee didn't see her tap out. Which means probably the next time they face Ronda is going to try to take it from her, or some way. But Ronda did turn heel here with a post-match attack against Liv and the referees. And I guess this was coming because she's not really good at being the face, but she's more good at being a heel. So I guess it fits here that she turns on Liv, because they probably want to keep Liv the face here. But last but not least, the main event, which saw Roman Reigns go up against Brock Lesnar the last time in the last man standing match. And this match was crazy. They brutalized each other. They beat each other. There was a big tractor trailer. They did everything. Austin Theory did come out. He did come out and try to cash in. But when I realized he was trying to cash in while the match was still going, I realized he was going to get intercepted and stuff, whatnot. The Usos did get involved. They tried to help, but Brock Lesnar decimated them. Both Roman and Brock kept breaking 10 counts. Paul Heyman got L5 through a table, and basically Roman won. Like I knew he was, because he was supposed to. He had, this was supposed to be Randy instead of Brock. But Randy's out with injury, so they inserted Brock here. But pretty much this led to, because we knew he was supposed to be facing Drew McIntyre. It was already planned that he was going to be facing Drew McIntyre, so they just had to build the story to there. So Roman got the victory here by having repeatedly knocked Brock Lesnar down. He wouldn't stay down. Oh, also Brock Lesnar used the tractor trailer to basically flip the ring. I'm like, holy cow. But yeah, after multiple times of Brock being hit and not staying down, like he was hit with like with the belts. He was put. The Usos tried to help. Nothing would keep Brock down. So the way how they did it was the Usos, when he hit Brock with the championship, Roman and the Usos basically dog piled like the tables and all this stuff on him, and Brock Lesnar basically couldn't beat the 10 count, and thus Roman Reigns retained the championship, and now we already know his next opponent will be Drew McIntyre. This was an insane pay-per-view. It was insane. But with some of the matches not being as good as they could be, and the fact that though they came out swinging and then kind of cooled down and came back swinging a little bit, I'm going to give this pay-per-view a 9 out of 10, taking only 1 point away, because it wasn't a perfect 10, just a 1 point away for the collective matches that just wasn't as what they could have been. The potential of the matches being better could have been better, but they wasn't bad either. So with the fact that they still entertained me to a point, and surrounded by the awesomeness of the stuff that happened, it deserves a 9 out of 10. Mainly because the fact that you got me so hyped. I gave it another reason why I gave it a 9 is because you got me so hyped for Raw and SmackDown. Something I haven't been in a long time. You get a 9 out of 10. And Triple H, I'm damn sure I want to see more of what you got coming. But you let me know in the comments down below what you thought of SummerSlam if you've seen it. If you enjoy this review, you hit this button right there in the upper right corner for all of my WWE reviews. And you enjoy this review so much you want to support the channel, all you gotta do is hit those buttons. And as always, hit any one of these videos for more of my amazing content. But don't go anywhere. You know I got more coming. So, peace.